following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the MorganMan Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, esports, covering roster mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan, and you're listening to the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Atlanta FaZe with their one and only matchup for this weekend, current CDL point standings, and what to expect out of this second weekend of online qualifiers for the Major 3 tournament. So without any further delay, let's go to get straight into today's action. Alright guys, so the Atlanta FaZe is only going to be having one matchup this weekend, and that will be going up against the Miami Heretics this Saturday, April 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And guys, let me tell you, this Miami Heretics team, they're on the rise pretty much. So for overall standings, the Miami Heretics is 8-15, which I know is not a great record, but still though, they're better than Minnesota Rocker, better than Cloud9 New York, and of course way better than LAG and Vegas Falcons. But they can also compete against teams like the Boston Breach, Surge, and Royal Ravens. Now, competing against like Atlanta, Los Angeles, or Toronto, I don't think so. Maybe against Optic Texas, but other than that, those three other teams, no sir. I just don't think Miami can really do it. And that's why I'm going to sit here and say confidently a 3-0 for the boys in the red and black against the Miami Heretics. And that's pretty much FaZe's weekend right there, wrapped up and done, which they got the first place, spot locked down right now. And they need to keep it locked down because the Los Angeles Thieves is not too far behind and, catching up with them. And then, of course, next weekend, FaZe has 2 matches, and that'll be the final weekend of online qualifiers. So I'm like, dang, already we're fixing to be entering the Major 3 tournament here soon, which that will bring me to my next topic right here, or not really topic, but just point of view. The Major 3 tournament is happening the same weekend the NFL draft is, ladies and gentlemen. So I won't be doing really much of anything draft related outside of being on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel for their live stream, getting my honest reaction live of whoever the Falcons do select. I think the Falcons are 15th, 16th in overall this year for the NFL draft. So you can see my live and honest reaction of whoever the Falcons do select on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel, live stream, the mega show as we usually call it, or the super show, I'm sorry. But other than that, that would be about it for content from me for the Atlanta Falcons. But of course, I will be posting the Major 3 tournament predictions for that week, that Thursday, the day of the NFL draft. So do want to make you guys aware of that. So that is something to look forward to right there. But for current CDO point standings, ladies and gentlemen, you got the Atlanta FaZe sitting at number 1 with 340 CDO points, a 23-6 MAT win-loss percentage, which is 79.31%. Los Angeles Thieves is 290 CDO points, 22-7, which is a 75.86% MAT win-loss percentage. Toronto Ultra, 220, with a 19-10 record, 64.29% MAT win percentage. Carolina Royal Ravens coming at number 4 with 200 CDL points, 19-11 with a 62.07% map win percentage. And finally, to finish off the top 5, you got the Vancouver Surge with 195 CDL points, 16-12 record with a 57.14% map win percentage. And then beyond that is Optic Texas sitting at 6, Boston Breach at 7, and Miami Heretics sitting at number 8. And if the playoffs did start today, Rocker, Cloud9 New York, LAG, and Vegas Falcons would all be eliminated. So I know last week, also, ladies and gentlemen, I did say the Vegas Falcons were gonna, have a win during this Major 3 tournament. Now, they came close this past weekend, but it was still no cigar. I feel like with Pred, Arcides, Priesta, all of them on this roster right here, I do feel like this roster can finally get some dubs under the belt. Are they going to turn their season around? Absolutely not, because it's way down far the barrel now. Every team would statistically have to lose out for this whole entire major right here in order for the Vegas Falcons to even hit a top 6, top 5 right in there. I mean, that would just be a miraculous turnaround if every team except for the Vegas Falcons started losing. So obviously we can feel safe to go ahead and say that the Vegas Falcons are technically eliminated from playoff contention, and more than likely the Los Angeles Guerrillas would be eliminated. And then, heck, Cloud9 New York could make a splash into playoffs if Miami Heretics loses out their series and C9 steps their game up. But then again, you got Minnesota Rocker, who is kind of a coin flip. What Minnesota Rocker are you going to get this week? Are you going to get the good one, or are you going to get the bad one? That's the question to ask for this Major 3 tournament. But through pretty much the entire schedule right here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident in just this overall weekend right here being a good one. Optic Texas will definitely open up this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern against the Miami Heretics. So I feel like that would be a loss for Miami going up against Optic, because this is the new team right here. And this new team was already 2-0 during this Major 3 online qualifiers. So definitely, and this Optic matchup is something to look forward to. Ravens definitely is something to look forward to, especially going up against the Minnesota Rocker. Los Angeles Thieves versus Toronto Ultra definitely is a series to definitely watch out for. Again, this is your top 3 right here. They're battling out. Toronto Ultra did get the best of FaZe in that 3-2, but of course FaZe bounces back and claps Carolina Royal Ravens in a 3-1. So FaZe, I still feel confident in saying that they're just only letting these losses happen because of some minor mistakes, but nothing just too major to where it's going to derail the entire season. So I'm not really worried about it. As long as you're losing into that top 3 instead of like the bottom 3 or like Vegas Falcons or whatever, then I feel 100% confident in my saying that we can beat the Toronto Ultra and take them to the limit whenever it really comes down to the wire. But other than that, guys, this weekend's matches is not really all out there for me, outside of course, LA Thieves and Toronto Ultra, Miami Heretics and Optic Texas. Them matches right there. And of course, like I said, the Ravens versus the Minnesota Rocker. How's the Ravens going to respond with being within this top 5? And I will even throw in Surge. Like, how is Surge going to be able to handle a lot of this pressure this weekend, especially when they go up against the Ravens, who are all within that top 5? Like, who's going to come out victorious? That's going to be the question to ask this weekend. So guys, like I said, I do want to apologize for no Falcons content here on the channel. It's kind of a dead season right now. Everybody knows that. Yes, we do have the NFL draft in 2 weeks. And next week's episode, I will be discussing, if I was the Falcons GM, who would I pick at that number 16th, 15th overall position? You will definitely have a definite answer or number for next week's episode. But it'll be my first round selection of, if I was the Falcons GM, who would I pick for this Falcons organization out of this year's 2025 NFL draft class? And of course, I will be talking about the Major 3 last weekend of online qualifiers before heading into the actual tournament itself. And so, yeah, definitely next weekend is going to be a good episode right there for you guys to listen to. Talking about Falcons and Call of Duty League finally in the both, same episode here. So, but guys, I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from: iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And I, Stacy Cole Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.